Hello and welcome to the second weekend of action. We're here for a bonanza of athletics here. It's Saturday in Morton Stadium in Century. It's the Irish Life Health Track and Field Championships. We are just about to get underway. First up on track is going to be the women's 800, and Ger, it's going to be another excellent weekend ahead by the looks of things.
Yeah, absolutely. 4 sessions this weekend, 2 today, 2 tomorrow. Shorter day today than we had last week. There was, of course, 3 sessions trying to fit in this packed timetable across the 2 weekends to ensure we're, fitting in with the guidelines by the government in terms of distancing and numbers, etc. But starting off with the women's 800 metres here today, we have the women's discus coming up very shortly too. Then the women's triple jump will be taking place on the back straight there, followed by the men's 800 metre heats. So just 4 events this morning, a short break, and then we were back this afternoon for more action here from Morton Stadium at the 2020 Irish Life Health National Championships.
I think we're going to have 4 heats in the women's 800, though our lists are very much that we've got not up to date, so it's a preliminary entry list we're currently working off.
We haven't got a clue what's going on there.
100% truth.
As usual, but we're going to give it our best shot here. Yeah, we don't have a start list.
We also don't have any idea on what the qualification criteria is.
You'd imagine, I would say, top 2 and then 2 fastest qualifiers.
Yeah, that's the standard, I would think. Although if it's 4 heats, I think there might be 3 heats, to be honest. Some of these will not have turned up. There is 4 heats in the men's. So we see on the outside there, that's Amy O'Donoghue, number 56. She'll obviously be one to watch here. 1500 metre champion last weekend.
Absolutely, yeah, and you'd expect to see her in around 203, 204 shape at the moment. So you'd expect her to see in the mix in this one. Plenty more in this one. There's Sarah Hosey in there in lane 4 as well. So from Dunedin AC, so plenty of action in this one. It's going to be
it's Robin McKee of Dromore in lane 6 as well.
Yeah, you'd imagine, Carl, it's not going to be particularly quick, although we've gotten out reasonably quick there on the outside, just outside Amy O'Donoghue. Get an idea of exactly who that is just out there, cutting in nice. We'd expect you'd want to be running around 2:15. I expect to qualify for this one. Aha, we have one.
The full lineup from the inside here, not that it's relevant anymore, is Sheila Carroll, Aoife Delargy, Sinead Gaffney, Sarah Hosey, Sophie Jackman, Jennifer Johnston, Robin McKee, Ava O'Connor and Amy O'Donoghue. And Ronan, I suppose you'd expect that Amy O'Donoghue should advance with ease, and maybe Ava O'Connor?
Yeah, Ava O'Connor's just gone to the front there now. She is just on the outside of Amy O'Donoghue. She's normally a front runner. We normally see her in the junior women's events and the schools events, hammering out from the front. And they've got out reasonably quickly here in around 49, 50 seconds through the 300 metres. So not the slowest pace in the world. But these two still leading us to Ava O'Connor there in the blue and white, Tullamordis on the outside, and Amy O'Donoghue then just on the inside there in emerald.
Sophie Jackman of St. Senan's as well back in third then. And just looping around the outside, number 55 is Robin McKee of Dromore AC. So it's only going to be the top 2 here go through automatically. It's a cruel qualification criteria, and we'll have 4 fastest losers, so 3 heats, top 2, and 4 fastest losers to go through on time. But right now, Amy O'Donoghue, as we expected, running in command.
Yeah, O'Donoghue, O'Connor, and then Jackman there, 1, 2, and 3. But we've got about 7 athletes still in the mix in this one. It's still a reasonably steady pace, but Amy O'Donoghue with 200 metres left to run is leading this field. And Mary Dance here, she's in control here at the front and holding that inside line. O'Connor then in second place, said 2 to qualify out of this one, and I'll be hoping to get a fastest loser spot there for Sophie Jackman.
It was 140 at 600, so it's going to be in around the 213 mark. But you can see Amy O'Donoghue pulling clear now on the bend. The wind will be on their backs this weekend, opposite to last weekend down the home straight. As we see Ava O'Connor is struggling. There's a right
That's
dust
Aoife
up now for
Delargy there
second.
coming up on the outside. That's Aoife Delargy with 50 metres left to run, storming home for Nina Olympic. Ava O'Connor looks like she's going to be run out of this one. Amy O'Donoghue 2:12.57. Aoife Delargy in second place, and Ava O'Connor then in third. And in fourth place was the Dunedin AC athlete Sarah Hosey. Jackman, who was in third for much of the race, back in fifth, sorry.
Great stuff, a facile victory. Picking up where she left off last weekend with a win. Amy O'Donoghue looking serene there out front.
Yeah, she really looked in control throughout the race. Lots of confidence, I would suspect, from last weekend's 1500 metre victory, and certainly looked to control in that one. She certainly hasn't lost any ability over the last week anyway.
Yes, we're going to have, as you said, 3 heats in this. We'll just run through in case it's not up online yet, the second and third heats for you. So we're going to have Catherine Casserly in heat 2 with Sarah Clark, Aoife Corr, Sinead Denny, Amy Haid, Isilda O'Donnell, Maeve O'Neill and Ruby Stephen. And then Heat 3 will have Sarah Brady, Maria Campbell, Amy Doherty, Sarah Lane, Sarah Lanigan, Claire Mooney, Annette Quaid and Nessa Wheeler in that one. So the top 2, as you said, just to go through automatically, and then 4 fastest times after that. So it's stiff enough qualification. It's going to be even tougher in the men's, I suspect, later on. Cahill, there's going to be
4, I believe.
4 heats in that one, with the similar qualifications. Not actually written on the sheet here yet. They haven't decided on their qualification procedure yet, but it'll be posted online.
Live Athletics Ireland.ie is now updated with the heat schedules for this women's 800. So you'll see that there. That'll be where you get all the results throughout today and indeed tomorrow.
Yeah, so Heat 2 is going to have, we've seen the winner of the 1500 from last weekend. In that one, Amy O'Donoghue, we got the silver medalist. In this one, Isilda O'Donnell, more of an 800 metre specialist. And she's going to be up against Sinead Denny, who of course is has won national medals here in the 400 metres in the past. I think she may have won a national title here, maybe 2016, over the 1 lap. But she's up to the 2 lap now. And we'll see what she can do over this course of this weekend.
Yeah, Isilda O'Donnell, a 206 athlete. Amy Hayde, though, is a really progressive young athlete. The Newport AC, she's only 17 years old, so I think she's probably the youngest athlete in the entire field or so. Ava O'Connor is also 17, or actually she's only 16, Ava O'Connor, so also any teenagers or juniors, I suppose, are entitled to have a parent here, so you might see the odd one dotted around, unlike last weekend, around the arena outside the stands.
Yeah, so there's obviously a bit more space for numbers this weekend, and a few more juvenile athletes competing in the 800 metres in particular, so parents are allowed inside. Last weekend there was a chaperone system being in operation because numbers were so tight with the size of the fields and some of the events, so thankfully it's good that some of the parents can get in and see up front and up close, possibly their Charge's first ever National Senior Championships call.
Absolutely, it's a big step up. In with the big fish.
Indeed. So
athletics.
The discus throw, as I mentioned, is beginning in, 6 minutes time out, but it's out in the outer section, so the throws arena is just out. If you're familiar with Morton Stadium, as you pull into the car park, it's just on the left hand side there, the recently refurbished throws arena. So that's where all the big throws are taking place this weekend, the discus and the hammer last weekend. So the lads from Entroy have their camera out there, so they'll be bringing us highlights of that competition shortly. Of course, you'll be able to keep up to date with it through live.athleticsIreland.ie as the competition progresses, but if you don't want the spoilers, the highlights will be shown for you, thanks to Dave O'Shea and the lads here later on.
We're going to bring the spoilers in the interest of keeping people up to date.
Absolutely.
Bruce Willis is a ghost.
Yeah, plenty to look forward to in that women's discus as well. The likes of Nia Fogarty being the front runner in that one. But front thrower, in fact, yes. But the leading light at the moment, throwing well over 50 metres this season, so by far and away the top athlete in the field. It's 800 metres as well, I suppose, called an event that is fairly open. The likes of Amy O'Donoghue, as we saw in the first heat, through and clear. 2:06 from Claire Mooney, one of the leading times this year as well. Isilda O'Donnell, who saw finishing second in that 1500 metres last week, hoping to bring that kind of ability to her main event, the 800 metres.
Certainly, Isilda O'Donnell, definitely better known as an 800 metre runner, but she showed her aerobic development last week in contending for that 1500 metre title and indeed holding off Ellie Hartnett to get the silver. But this will be more in her wheelhouse, so it'll be very interesting to see what she can do in this tomorrow's final.
Sinead Denny is an interesting athlete in this one, as Ger was alluding to there, the better known as the 400 metre runner. She ran about 2:15 this season in a graded meet. We'll give you that full field again, Cathal.
Yeah, from the inside, Catherine Casserly of Galway City Harriers, Sarah Clark of Nafina, Aoife Kaur of Dublin City Harriers, Sinead Denny of Dundrum South Dublin, Amy Hayde of Newport, Isilda O'Donnell of Raheny, Maeve O'Neill of Doheny, and Ruby Steuven of Tullamore Harriers AC, right on the outside.
And 2:16.19 is the fourth fastest time so far, so looking at those fastest qualifier spots, and I can already tell you that it's unlikely to come from this race.
We
had
have
a faller,
unfortunately, there.
That could be, I think that's Sarah Clark of Nafina AC that has gone down there, and she's going to find it difficult to get back up to this one, the under 23 athlete, out of PB of 2:14. She's working her way back up towards that field, but Isilda O'Donnell is pouring on the pace now from after 200 metres. Sinead Denny back there in fourth place. Maeve O'Neill, the Donny athlete there, the Demanway girl, has won a school's 300 metre title, so she'll be well capable over this 800 metre distance.
Absolutely. such a shame there for Sarah Clark. She probably made the slightly inexperienced error there of catching up too quickly. There really is no rush in that scenario to empty the gasket to try and catch up, and she really did move hard around that bend to try and close that gap. But she's back in contention, but what will she have left? Because Isla O'Donnell is starting to turn the screw out front with Amy Hayde on her shoulder.
It's around 2:14 pace there, Cahill. They went through in about 67. Amy Hayde, the Newport DAC athlete, sitting on her shoulder, and these two are making yards away from the rest of the field. It is O'Donnell and Hayde with 300 metres left to run. They've got about a 2 or 3 metre gap back to Maeve O'Neill, and then Sinead Denny is chasing Gamely there back there in fourth.
Yeah, Isla O'Donnell in command. Amy Hayde will certainly be putting it up to her, and indeed Amy O'Donoghue tomorrow for that medal chance as they reach 600 metres now, and it's about 140. It's bang on the same pace as the first one. 2:14, 2:15 are the fastest losers at the moment. Let's see what they can close in.
Yeah, Maeve O'Neill, the Donny girl there, the Manway athlete, has a big kick, and she tried to get up around the shoulder of Isla O'Donnell and Amy Hayde, but the two athletes from that 50-metre, 100-metre final last week are striding into the home straight, and O'Donnell looks absolutely supreme here. She looks around, as does Hayde, but O'Neill is coming again. The athlete from Manway is striding out towards the home straight, and O'Donnell and Hayde need to be careful here of this athlete with a long striding finish here. Hayde and O'Donnell. O'Donnell looks like he's going to get run out of it, as does Hayde, and O'Neill looks like she got that one on the line. 2:12.27. O'Donnell puts her hand to her face, but we're hoping to qualify as the fastest qualifier, but that could be a really simple error there from the Raheny athlete.
Certainly it was Ruby Steuben of Tullamore came through then for fifth after Sinead Denny. But yeah, she is a lucky woman today, Isla O'Donnell, the silver medalist last weekend, because that could well have been catastrophic. She will have run about 2:12 there, which is going to put her ahead of all the current fastest time qualifiers in the first heat. So the only way Isla O'Donnell will be run out of the final is if third, fourth, fifth and sixth in this third and final heat run faster than 2:12, which is highly unlikely.
Yeah, last year, Cahill, we remember that she missed out in the 800 heats and snuck through into the final, and I think picked up a bronze in the end. So an athlete that is taking this in her stride, I suspect. This kind of stress, but unneeded stress.
You did warn us with 150 to go. Maeve O'Neill has a heck of a kick, and she very much displayed that. We do unfortunately have an athlete down here at the finish. That was our faller,
Sarah Clark.
Sarah Clark. So hopefully she's all right. She looks to be in a little bit of pain there. So
yeah, Carl. Like, I know I'm not a media sensation like yourself, but look, I know my stuff. Cheers, Carl.
You can't put in what God left out.
So up next in this 800 metres, as we are still have athletes here, athlete Sarah Clark, I think should be all right. I don't think it's much more than a bit of shock.
She does look in pain. It's more than shock. She is still in considerable pain and grimacing as she walks off the track there, but I hope it's just a few. Perhaps she got a spike in or hit the track quite hard. She looks to be looking at her hands, probably fell quite hard on her wrists as she went down. I once broke my left scaphoid while trying to break a heavy fall. Not the best. But yeah, Isla O'Donnell, a lucky escape there, and I suppose that's a good time to learn that lesson is here at Nationals. It could have been an international championship, and that would be an error that you wouldn't forgive yourself for if you kind of just lapse in concentration over that last 60 metres. Yeah,
as her coach Phil Kelly once said to me, there's experiencing lessons and there's learning from them, and she experienced that lesson last year, and you would expect that she should have been able to hold off the challenge there of Maeve O'Neill. But look, she should survive to fight another day, that day being tomorrow. The athletes that could put her out here: Sarah Brady, Maria Cahill, Amy Doherty, Sarah Lane, Sarah Lanigan, Claire Mooney, Annette Quaid and Nessa Wheeler. So Claire Mooney with the fastest PB in the race of 2:01.61. She's ran 2:06 so far this season. She'll be hoping to get the win of this one. Annette Quaid in there as well, as we mentioned several times last week. The 1994 was her international debut. Yeah, over 400 metres, and then up to 15 last week, and back down to 8, the middle ground this weekend. What can she put it up to these younger guns? Yeah, I'd expect Sarah Lane there, the athlete in orange from Neenah Olympic. She regularly features on the school circuit, so she'll be thereabouts in that one. Yeah, as I said, Claire Mooney there, of course, is national champion here in the 400 from 2018 as well. 53.1, I think, is her PB for the 4, so she's taken on the 2-lap, and as I said, she's the fastest across the whole field in terms of PBs as well. So if she can get back towards PB form running, she'll be certainly a tough contender to deal with here, certainly in this heat, but especially in the final. Yeah, she'll be one of, as I said, it's a very open race here in this final. You'd expect the likes of Isla O'Donnell, Amy O'Donoghue, Amy Hayde, Aoife Delargy now as well, and Maeve O'Neill to feature from those first two. But Claire Mooney definitely is the class of this final heat. Final heat here. She's ran, as I said, 2:01. I think it was on the American Collegiate Circuit for a while as well, the NACE AC athlete, but she'll be hoping that the 2:06 she ran earlier this season will be improved upon tomorrow.
And just to confirm the times from that second heat, Isolde O'Donnell, 2:12.53, is currently in position 1 of the time qualifiers at the moment. Position 2 is Ava O'Connor with 2:14. Sarah Hosey and Robin McKee are also currently qualified with 2:15. Unfortunately for Sophie Jackman, she will not be going through. So, 2:12 to 2:15 are the fastest time qualifier spots we're watching for here.
Heat 3 underway with Brady, Campbell, Doherty, Lane, Lanigan, Mooney, Quaid and Wheeler. Ronan, from your experience of not getting out of the heats at national finals, would the girls in the first and second heat had their stopwatch out to see what was being clocked?
I would suspect so. Yeah, they'll be sitting here waiting to see how this one runs, and often the third heat, even though that's the one that has the most information on what the time needs to be, is often one of the slower heats. Sarah Lane there, the Nina Olympic athlete, as I don't rise to your barb, with 200 metres ran, is running quite well at the front of this one. Just behind her then the favourite in this heat, Claire Mooney, and then Annette Quaid, the tall, long-striding Leavelle athlete there, just on the outside. Very, very experienced, coming around into the home straight, and we'll hope to take closer order in this one, Ger.
Yeah, so stretched out a bit already. So, as you said, can tend to be the slowest of the heats, the third heat normally, because I think everyone thinks they're fast and thinks if it's a slow pace, they'll be the one to get to that top 2 spot. But Annette Quaid just leading them out through the bell here, with Claire Mooney sitting on her shoulder with about 66 on the clock.
Yeah, Quaid has gone out here. It's 2:12 pace, which obviously is pretty much bang on what that fastest qualifier spot should be. But you'd expect Sarah Lanigan is the Galway City Harrier there in 4th place. She's trying to hang on to these three, and these three are probably the classes feel, and they'll show their class now over this last 300 metres. Pretty much anyone can keep up over 500 metres. Well, last 300 really separates the wheat from the chaff. It's, as Claire Mooney there is getting onto the shoulder of Annette Quaid, and Sarah Lane there, the Nina Olympic athlete, in 3rd place, trying to hang on and gain one of those fastest qualifier spots.
Yeah, I think Lanigan has run a PB recently, the Galway City Harrier, but she's going to have a good bit of work to do here to get back up towards those leading lights in this one and trying to hang on and get a fastest qualifier spot. It's not looking good at the minute, but Claire Mooney just takes the lead with around 2:60 to go, and she's going to stride home here in that first spot at the minute, with Annette Quaid trying to dig in and stick with her, but there's a bit of pressure going to come on.
Yeah, Sarah Lane there is trying to get one of those one of those automatic qualifier spots. She's going to try and catch Annette Quaid, but you'd expect the 1500 metre athlete from last week, the finalist, to hold on for second in this one. But Lane is trying hard. Mooney is away and home here and can pretty much shut down here over these last final yards. And it is going to be 2:12 for Mooney. Quaid then in second, and third for young Sarah Lane from Nina Olympic. And Isolde O'Donnell breathes a sigh of relief.
Yeah, Sarah Lanigan coming through there in 4th. She's going to have to check the times on the clock, but I don't think that's going to look good as a fastest time qualifier spot. But Quaid and Mooney top through in that one. As we see the rest of the athletes rounding out this race, the third heat of the women's 800 metres. Cahill.
Yeah, the good news for Isolde O'Donnell is she's through, certainly with the 2:12. From the first heat, Ava O'Connor is definitely through. Sarah Hosey is definitely through. And Sarah Lane, I'm quite certain, finishing 3rd in that heat. I was just counting as she crossed the line, and she crossed in about 2:14. So she, I think, if that is a 2:14, which it looked, will be in as the second time qualifier. And then we'll have 2 from the first heat. They will be Ava O'Connor and Sarah Hosey. Unfortunately for Robin McKee, her time of 2:15.72 looks like it's not going to be quick enough to make the final. So likely our 10 finalists for the women's 800 metres are Amy O'Donoghue, Aoife Delargy, Ava O'Connor, Sarah Hosey, Maeve O'Neill, Amy Hayde, Isolde O'Donnell, Sarah Brady, Maria Campbell, Sarah Lane, and the first 2 from that heat were Claire Mooney and Annette Quaid. Those, I think, will be the 10. We'll confirm that once it comes up on live.athletics.ireland.ie.
Unofficially.
Very unofficial, Ger. I can't stress how unofficial this is.
Like anything that comes out of your mouth.
What was the method you used to count that out? Was it a 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, or what was the situation?
3 breaths between each name, I think.
I saw a name and I read it. And then I realised I had about 12 names.
It's better to be first than correct, Cahill, as you always say.
That's my phrase in journalism. First in gets it.
Read now, worry later. So we're going to have the women's triple jump is going to be the sole attraction here in Morton Stadium now for the next hour or so.
Jerry, you're the secondary attraction.
Thank you so much, Cahill.
Our reigning 110 metre hurdles champion.
20 8 minutes or so, we'll have the men's 800-meter heats in action. But until that time, we might get a couple of the sole focus on a couple of the triple jumps if they kick off in time. The women are socially distanced there on the back, straight in their chairs, laid out by the officials this morning. And as you said, we'll have Sarah Buggy going on that one, the multiple champion in the event, and also the long jump champion from last weekend here, beating out the young guns and Sarah McCarthy and the likes in that one. So that was a really good, strong competition last week. We had a lot of jumps over the likes of 580 in that one. So let's see what we can do here today. PB, I think at 13:29 for Buggy. If she gets near that, she'll be over a metre clear of the field, I suspect. But we have a field of 11 entered. If we just have a look at the schedule here, we'll see how many are towing the line. There's 11 down, so we'll see once the competition gets underway again. Live at lettersound.ie, you'll be able to keep up to speed with all those jumps as they take place.
Sarah Buggy has 12 national titles already. I believe I said last week she had 254.
Close
but
enough.
you know, reasonably close. You lose count. I stopped counting at 10. Where's the next great frontier for Sarah Buggy? 40 national titles?
1350, I'd say, in the triple.
So
Grace Furlong, the under 23 athlete, is probably going to be her strongest contender in this one, Cathal. As we so often spoke about last weekend, myself and Ronan, especially as you were off gallivanting around the stadium, the Jump-A-Palooza, which took place here a couple of weeks ago. So that was Shane Aston and Dave Sweeney put on a jumps and throws festival here for all the athletes who were really struggling to get competitions, especially in the technical events. So that was a really brilliant day here on a Saturday a few weeks back when the sun was splitting the stones, and a very rare occasion where the wind was blowing down the home straight, which would have been ideal for the sprinters, but there was no sprints on that day. But Sarah Buggy took a couple of good jumps that day. Grace Furlong performed quite well. I think everyone else in this field was also there, so they've all had a run out on this Morton Stadium runway already this season, which is something that a lot of the other athletes in other events haven't got the chance to do. So it's good they were given that opportunity.
certainly we have confirmation of the qualifiers. In third there, Sarah Lane with 2:14.40 did indeed go through, as did automatic qualifiers Claire Mooney and Annette Quaid. And going back from Heat 2, Maeve O'Neill and Amy Hayde, of course, went through automatically. Isolde O'Donnell with 2:12.53 goes through as a time qualifier. And from the first heat, Amy O'Donoghue and Aoife Delargy both in automatically, and Ava O'Connor and Sarah Hosey with their 2:14s, 2:15s will also qualify on time. 10 women tomorrow afternoon's women's 800-metre final.
You'd be hard pressed to decide a winner from that field.
Amy O'Donoghue.
Well, okay, fair enough.
No Limerick
Double
bias
national champ.
applies. 2/3 of our entire team here is Limerick.
This is true, yeah. Myself and Jerry are the only ones with a bit of culture and sense.
Yeah.
So men's 800 metres up next, and then as we said, we try and hopefully get some triple jump action for you.
Limerick got
as
really
well.
screwed over with the European Capital City of Culture.
Was that
They
this
gave
year,
it to
was it?
Galway. Yeah, they gave it to Galway, I think, instead. Disgraceful. Carry on.
Had they been to Limerick before they decided to give it to you?
Yeah, Limerick School of Art and College Design, baby.
I'm getting daggers here. From
Graduate of Blind Boy Boat Club, among many other
your personal
international
hero.
heavyweights.
I actually know somebody who's involved in the Galway committee, so I think it's justified.
Yeah, Galway's lovely in fairness, and when you compare it
As
with
is Limerick.
Wow. St. John's Castle. That's all you got
King
going.
John's Castle.
No. Oh. Yeah.
King
Yeah.
John. Will we be seeing King John Travers reign later on in that
Well,
men's 10,000 metres going up against King Sean Tobin? Currently, they're both silver men, smarting from last weekend's defeats. But that'll be an interesting one to look forward to as we see our Raheny athlete, Kim
Yeah, that's
O'Hare.
Kim O'Hare getting ready to get this long triple jump competition underway. Maybe Sive Byrne is absent. She's down as the first on the list, but Kim O'Hare down into a 3-point start to get this competition underway. In the women's triple jump, she's also an under 23 athlete. And as we mentioned last week, the under 23 competitions will be running alongside a red flag there for Kim. But the full start list is Sive Byrne, Kim O'Hare, Aisling McHugh, Sarah Buggy, Michaela Byrne, Grace Fitzgerald, Grace Furlong, Lauren Callaghan, Fola McFadden, Sean Layden and Roshni Donald.
Yeah, big field there, 11 athletes in that one, and Sive Byrne, I didn't see her on the runway, but she's yet to be taken out of the results here, so
Yeah, I
we'll
think
see
that
how
was
she goes.
I think that was the first competitive jump, so that would mean that Sive Byrne is absent, but I'm sure someone will have commented in immediately to tell us we're incorrect, as they usually do.
Absolutely. First heat in the men's 800 as well. getting ready on track here to our left, and we should have Ashton McHugh of Nace AC getting on the runway now very shortly. I don't think that's that still Kim O'Hare making her way off the runway after a successful jump.
Yeah, the board has just been replaced. The plasticine damaged by that foul, so they're switching it out and freshening it up for the next one.
That looks like Sarah Buggy just getting ready over there from our vantage point here in the stand. It is Sarah Buggy, the St. Albans AC athlete, the favourite for this women's triple jump. So this could be a good start here for Sarah Buggy. Won the long jump last week.
She did indeed, yeah. She'd be hoping to get her competition underway with a big one and take the pressure off a little bit so that she can relax into it and try and get some big jumps in throughout the 6 rounds. So we're not quite sure is the start list on the live link correct. Possibly we have a few absentees, but here goes Sarah Buggy, the reigning champion, long jump champion from last week, and she just has a run through on that one, a red flag again. So 2 fouls to start the competition. I was here marking the pit for the triple jump at that Jumpapalooza run, and I can tell you fouls are great because you don't have to step into the pit at all. Whereas the rakers unfortunately had to do their job every time, but I got to just wait. I'd say maybe a third of the jumps were measured jumps, so I had a very easy time of it.
Were you telling them to messing around with their marks and everything, moving them back and putting them off?
Oh, absolutely.
Making yourself an easier day for yourself.
Giving them all sorts.
The wind today it's not as bad as it was last week, but still a little bit. And I would suspect it's on their back there, or at least a little bit of a crosswind as it tends to be here in Santry. So Sarah Buggy and all the triple jump athletes there will be taking that into account as well for their marks. Yeah,
the wind has flipped from last weekend anyway, so it's down the home straight. But the jumpers have the luxury of having 2 pits and 2 runways here in Morton Stadium, so whichever way the wind is going at the start of the day, the officials can set up at that pit. Should have tailwinds all day today. The morning tomorrow should be similar, so maybe the men's 200 metre heats will get a bit of luck, and towards the end of the day or middle of the day it'll be switching to kind of a crosswind and then into a headwind by the evening, but I think the competition will have rounded up by then. So back on the triple jump runway here, that looks like a clean jump. The officials are just checking the board. I think that's Michaela Byrne of Finn Valley, is it? Or is that a Finn Valley vest? It's hard to see from this far away. Maybe we get a zoom in there from Gerard O'Shea and we'll be able to pick out the vest. Ronan, this is your specialty, the vest.
Yeah, I'm very strong normally, and I suspect it is Finn Valley. The only athlete in there's Lauren Callahan and Grace Furlong. And Grace Furlong would be one of the favourites, but it looks to be a Finn Valley vest. So
it's not a Tip Town vest?
I think the Tip Town vest is yellow and blue, isn't it?
That could be it up next. Grace Fitzgerald of Tip Town AC on the runway. Would that be it, Ronan?
Yeah,
put your money on that one.
Obviously, you're putting me on the spot here, and I am renowned for my ability to guess in this case. But let's get to the 800 metre race after this final triple jump here from the Tip Town athlete. First heat from the men's 800. We've got Justin Bloomer, Ted Collins, Keith Fallon, Kelvin O'Carroll, Ben Gerard, Philip Marn, Fergal O'Hare, Mark McDonald, Cian McPhillips and Shane Moore. And Cian McPhillips, the favourite in this one, the tall athlete from Longford AC. That
was a white flag there for Grace Fitzgerald, just for those of you watching the triple jump from Tip Town, so you can keep an eye on those results while we watch these heats on live.athleticsIreland.ie. But first heat of the men's 800 metres. What's the qualification? Top 2 plus 2 times thereafter, so another tough qualification setting here, like we see in the 1500 last weekend. Ronan, could be real barnstormers in the heats.
Yeah, very difficult to get out of this one. To be fair, as Cian McPhillips there with 200 metres or 300 metres ran, leads down into the home straight. Philip Marn there's in the inside. He ran 153 here at the graded meets a couple of weeks back, so he's in good form. Keith Fallon, the 1500 metre finalist from last week in this one as well. All the way back to Mark McDonald, the 2007 intermediate champion there in the final place at the moment.
Yeah, through the bell in around 58 seconds here, so they're looking to get a nice sub-2 clocking and those fastest time qualifier spots up for grabs. Just the 2 of them. There's 5 men moving away here from the rest of the field at the minute, so just the top 2 to go through, and McPhillips looks to be very, very comfortable there with 300 metres to go.
Yeah, that's the Crusaders AC athlete, Fergal O'Hare there in 3rd place as well at the moment. Quite a strong looking athlete holding on well, and Ted Collins there from Nina Olympic, the very tall long striding athlete in 4th place. But it is McPhillips at 200 metres to go. He's striding away from this field. He's the class of this field. Marn, the Mead man, trying to hang on as our man from Crusaders there, Fergal O'Hare, is really trying to hang on to Philip Marn into the home straight, but McPhillips is looking absolutely supreme here as he strides out down the home straight here. McPhillips looking absolutely supreme. Second place looks like it's going to be Philip Marin. And the tall athlete Ted Collins here, striding, gamely up the home straight. Looks like he's going to try and get third. Fergal O'Hare then in fourth place. Keith Fallon in fifth. In sixth place, we got the Dunedin AC athlete Calvin O'Carroll, and then Mark McDonald then in sixth place from the hometown club Clonmel Harriers. And it looks like to round out that field, it was Ben Gerard and Shane Moran.
Yeah, real battle there for that second automatic qualifier spot. But out front, the young man from Longford AC, Keane McPhillips, absolutely supreme, as you said many times, the same word over and over. He looked great there, cruised away from the rest of the field. Once it came to 200 to go, he just stepped it up and showed his class, as they say.
Cheers, Gerard. I hope to call you out on many of your failings later on.
It's alright, you're getting into it, like warming up. You should have done a few mouth exercises and your breathing and
look, in fairness,
phonetics before you got here.
You called 260 metres to run there from one of the athletes there as they had 150 metres left earlier on. So
that's correct. Yeah. Don't be bitter about it anyway. Yeah, so heat 1 of 4, the men's 800, top 2 to go through, and we will see some of the main contenders coming up through these next few heats. Sorry, Ron, relax.
Go on, you call it there, Ger.
I will. Heat 2, we're going to have Gavin Kenny, Rory Prendeville, Alan McGinley, Mark O'Shea, Louis O'Loughlin, Kieran Kelly, Stephen Kieran, David Kelly, Luke Evans and Jake Bagg. And we're back on the triple jump runway here. That's Kim O'Hare is back again. So we must have had a run through the field already. We're on to the second round. The Raheny athlete taking her second attempt to foul in the first round. Gets the white flag, I think, there. Yeah, they're measuring the pit. So we'll see what this one goes out to. The live results is only showing us marks from 3 athletes so far, 2 fouls, and Michaela Byrne out to 10.62. So let's see how far Kim O'Hare goes out on this one. So 3 under 23s in this one. Foley McFadden, Grace Furlong and Kim O'Hare. We see O'Hare with her second jump, and Sarah Buggy will be up next. The reigning champ and 12-time champion across long and triple jump, as Cathal mentioned earlier. No stranger to the top of the podium here in Morton Stadium.
Yeah, and this next heat as well of the 800 metres, we'll be looking at the likes of Kieran Kelly as well coming out of retirement in this one as well, and Jake Bagg and Louis O'Loughlin, the favourites in this second heat. So that's to look forward to there as well, as we see Buggy here on the runway. Fail in her first attempt, but certainly has the class and the history in this event.
Like myself, I see Kieran Kelly down as an under 23 athlete.
So he's under
happy with that.
13 here as well, boys under 13 category nice. On my entry list. So lots of Benjamin Button style efforts here as Buggy makes it into the pit. We'll see how the flags work on this one. Red flag.
Red flag. So Buggy probably the only athlete in the field going off the 11-metre board. You'll see the athletes or the officials will be switching to the 9-metre board for the rest of the athletes. But Heat 2 being called to the line for the men's 800 metres. Kenny, Prendeville, McGinley, O'Shea, O'Loughlin, Kelly, Kieran Kelly, Evans and Jake Bagg. So David Kelly and Kieran Kelly. 2 Kellys in this one.
And Gavin Kenny there from Bandon SC as well in lane 1. Finished third last year in the Irish Schools steeplechase. Munster Schools 1500 metre champion as well in the past. Going here now over the 2-lap distance. Jake Bagg won a All-Ireland Schools cross country as a minor, I think, down in, or at least was in the top 3 back in Clongowes Wood back many years ago now. But the athlete now is running over 800 metres. The Ferrybank AC man out there in lane 8. David Kelly as well, an athlete from Toker AC, who's come out of many years of not competing to compete here today. He's an athlete who's running around 2 minutes. Louis O'Loughlin, though, one of the classiest runners over 800 metres in the last couple of years. The young Moyle Park schoolboy there in the all-white of Dunor Harriers.
Yeah, he just looks like he's going to slot into about 3rd place there. He ran at the European Under-20s last year, Louis O'Loughlin. And he is back here stepping up against the seniors. And out front, it's Alan McGinley of Lifford Strabane seizing command out front. And this makes sense. Remember, if it's quick enough, the top 4 can go through. And they've gone through 200 metres in about 28 seconds, which, as any 800-metre mathematician knows, is 152 pace into the wind as well. So it's a good, healthy pace laid down here.
Yeah, that's Jake Bagg there in second place, and he's ran 152 only a couple of weeks back here in Santry at the graded meet, so he should be well capable to hang on to this place. We could see a couple of the fastest loser spots in this race as Louis O'Loughlin takes closer order, gets out of that pack, and is now running out in lane 2, but hoping to get into the lead there ahead of Alan McGinley. Kieran Kelly there coming out of retirement in 4th place, done a couple of pacing efforts here in the last couple of weeks, but it is Bagg and McGinley there at the front.
Yeah, top 2, remember, only go through. Louis O'Loughlin in 3rd looks perfectly poised, as indeed does Kieran Kelly, another of the comeback men this year. Kieran Kelly out of retirement, as it were, but he's in here in contention for this final of the men's 800 metres, but he'll need to get into top 2, probably 3rd or 4th at very worst. But at the moment, it looks like Louis O'Loughlin, Ronan, is poised to strike, and he moves into the lead at 600 metres, which they pass in 1:27.
Yeah, O'Loughlin storming away, but Kelly has come back at him. Very experienced athlete as Kieran Kelly has got out of many of these heats in the past, and 150 metres left to run. He is trying to get around O'Loughlin, but O'Loughlin holds that inside curve with the two most experienced athletes here running away, and Kelly looking around him nonchalantly as Jake Bagg there is trying to take closer order with 50 metres left to run, but O'Loughlin comes up the inside, and these two athletes, like, they're going to get the automatic qualifier spots here. It is Kelly looking around him as he finishes. O'Loughlin with the win, and Bagg and McGinley 3rd and 4th, and looks to be slower, to second slower than that first heat.
Yeah, Kelly comes through then for 5th, and then it was Emerald AC's Rory Prenderville, the youngster, coming through then for 6th. So slower heat there. Not good news for the men in 3rd and 4th.
No, and it could be some like Jake Bagg being a 152 man. You'd expect him to be in around that final
the fastest
group
time
here.
Qualifiers at the moment are Ted Collins of Nina Olympic with 155.9 and Fergal O'Hare at 156.42.
Yeah, it was Grace Furlong there in the triple jump.
Yeah, so she's gone out to 12:37 in the first round. The wind on those jumps are varying up to plus 2.5.
If that's a legal wind, that's a PB.
It's an illegal wind. 2.5 is the wind on that. That was her first round effort. If that was her second round effort, now it's getting measured as well. But Kim O'Hare, we saw her second jump at 11:40. She got on that one plus 2.1. I think that'll be close to a PB for Kim as well, but illegal once again.
Kim O'Hare's PB is 11:72.
Okay, so not quite there yet. Michaela Byrne at 10:62 in the first round. Grace Fitzgerald 9:63. So we're waiting on the rest of the results to update, but we have gone through a full round. Sean Layden with a foul in the first round as well. So it seems that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 athletes competing in this one with 2 under 23s.
Can anyone stop Sarah Buggy? The endless question in the Irish Nationals, especially in the triple jump.
So Grace Furlong is leading the way at the minute with that 12:37. This looks like Sean Layden, Mullingar Harrier. She gets a white flag, so better than her first round effort.
Nice the officials to get the flags up in the air for us this week.
Absolutely.
It was some sort of secret society, some sort of stonecutters arrangement last week.
Generally you go by the measuring tape, but as I sent you the info of that last week, they outdid me immediately by measuring a foul. So often towards the end of the competition, especially, the athletes will ask for their fouls to be measured just to give themselves an idea of what shape they're in.
Certainly. Heat 3 of the men's 800 are just within minutes of the start. They're doing their final couple of strides here. Some choosing to go down the home straight, others choosing to go around the bend. A clash of styles. And then the official is looking at his watch, and momentarily he'll be summoning them to the start line. But it looks like Kim O'Hare is back on the runway.
Yeah, so round 3 in the women's triple jump. So the live results link is there for you, as I said. A little bit behind the live action, but eventually it'll be populated with the results. So Kim O'Hare's 11:40 in round 2 has her in second place at the minute.
20 years old.
Let's see what she can do here. She's going off that 9-meter board, as I said. Looks like a white flag again once she leaves the pit correctly.
She was 3rd in the indoor nationals, 11:60 this year, and 3rd in this also last year. Can she turn that bronze into silver, or indeed gold? Kim O'Hare will soon find out.
Sitting in the silver medal position at the minute, so she's got 2 good jumps under her belt,
And
2 clean jumps. Sarah Buggy will be up next, trying to get her first measured jump.
We'll just give you the full lineup while we have a moment for the next heat of the men's 800 in case we cut back to see Sarah Buggy. On the inside, Jack Byrne of Dunor Lane 2, Stephen Holland of Cork Track Club. Lane 3, Killian Kerwin of Raheny Shamrock. He shares that with Evan Keane of Waterford AC. Lane 4, Dylan McBride of Willowfield Harriers. Lane 5, Jack McGlone of Greystones and Districts and Dean McLaughlin of Corran AC. Lane 6, Jack Miskela of Crawwell. Lane 7, Derek Ryan of Newbridge and Sean Terrick of City Lisburn. And Lane 8, Colin Smith of Mullingar Harriers. Heat 3 of the men's 800, top 2 to go through automatically.
Yeah, young Jack McGlone there in lane 5 has the privilege of having won the 80 metres and the 800 metres as a minor schoolboy for Blackrock College. He is a young athlete there representing Greystones and District, but he's ran well under 2 minutes in his time. In this one as well, Dylan McBride from Willowfield Harriers, 133 athlete, and obviously Killian Kerwin in this one, the class of the field, and he's there in 3rd place. That is Jack Miskela gone out the front there from Crawwell AC.
He toes the field through 200 metres in just under 28 seconds, so a good healthy pace been laid down here once again. Remember, those fastest time qualifier spots are currently sitting at 154, 155, so whoever's 3rd and 4th in this will want to be hitting that kind of pace, but it looks a strong pace, Ronan.
Yeah, Miskela going well here. 43 seconds there through 300 metres, and Kerwin there looking really, really good in 2nd place here, just holding that inside line. But the long striding Jack Miskela from Crawwell AC, the Galway man, here going through in 57 seconds, so it is faster than anything we've seen so far, but it may not be enough in the end, Call.
Yeah, Evan Keane there as well, moving up on the outside. Look out for him, the under 23, the Waterford AC man in the blue. He was very impressive in his 1500 metre heat last week, and he's looking equally serene here with 300 metres to run. And can he get one of those top 2 automatic spots? But as it's been from the start, it's the Crawwell man, Jack Miskela, turning the screw out front, but really he's not putting the hurt on the men behind him sufficiently at the moment. Killian Kerwin looks ready to strike, ready to change gears whenever he chooses here, and he does with 200 metres to run, 1:29 on the clock. This is slower than the first 2 heats, so it's probably going to be that only the top 2 go through here, so it's going to be a right dust up as they come around the bend. And Evan Keane once again hits the front, 100 metres to run for the Waterford man. He is flying now at 100 to run, and Killian Kerwin giving honest chase in behind. Looks like these 2 could be the men. But it is Smith as well coming through. It is Colin Smith to 3rd, but not going to get there. It's going to be Killian Kerwin out front. Evan Keane, 156.80. He takes the win. Killian Kerwin 2nd.
Yeah, Keane, who made that 1500 final last week, showing he still has plenty of running in the legs, winning that one. Sean Terrick then coming up for 3rd place from City of Lisburn, and Colin D. Smith then ending up in 4th place. That's Evan Keane there, you can see on screen. So an athlete who's made 2 finals now over the course of the 2 weekends, so should be happy with his work so far. Colin D. Smith with a really good finish there, but not able to catch Killian Kerwin, one of the pre-race favourites from Raheny Shamrock.
Triple jump runway here. I think that was actually Dylan McBride of Willowfield, was it, who came through for 3rd? 3.73.
It may have been, Carl, it may have been.
It wouldn't be the first time you got it wrong, Ronan.
Very true. Willowfield Harriers are blue and a navy.
Well, maybe he's made a switch, or we have some faulty clubs listed, but he is number 373. Dylan McBride got up for 3rd there, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough for him. And if his day could get any worse, he was mislabeled by Ronan Duggan as an entirely different person.
It's consistent at least. So Sarah Buggy got a white flag on that 3rd round effort. No jump measured yet on the live results, but we also saw Michaela Byrne take her next effort there, the Finn Valley athlete. And up next we have got Grace Fitzgerald of Tiptown AC. It looks like she's going to get a white flag on that one. Yeah, she does indeed. So 9.63 in her 1st round is all we're seeing so far on the results link, but may have gone further in that 2nd round effort. Grace Furlong will be the next up in action, the Waterford AC under 23. She's the leader at the minute with that 12.37 from round 1. Until we see what Sarah Buggy has gone out to call. So it's going to be an interesting battle here between Furlong and Buggy in particular, the 2 athletes that are over 12 metres so far.
Yeah, it's a fine dust up at the moment. Early days though in this senior women's triple jump final. Jumping with the wind will certainly help them.
That's Grace Furlong, the under 23 and the leader of the event so far. On our results now, Sarah Buggy may have gone further in those jumps that we haven't seen the results of yet, but certainly Furlong will be her closest challenger for the title here. As I was saying, some of the jumps may look a similar distance in terms of Buggy and the others, but Buggy going from the 11-metre board, so she's taken off 2 metres further away from the pit than the other athletes.
One more heat to come in the men's 800 metres, and it will feature Harry Purcell. You remember him from such dives as the 400-metre final last year.
Yeah, so no races for Harry yet this year over the 1 or 2 laps. But as I said, he's a consummate pro in both events. Silver medalist here in the 400 metre last year with a PB 47.06 in that dive across the line, which possibly gained him nothing. But he did it anyway.
It made a hell of a picture, I'll say that much. So heat 4, because they're about to be called to their marks in the men's 800 metres. From the inside, Finn Boyle of Crusaders, Lee Byrne of Rathfarnham, Robert Hewson of Kildare, Fionn Carroll of Clonliffe.
We'll just get a look at Sean Layden's third round effort in the triple jump here before we continue that. And it looks like she's going to get a white flag as well.
David Levy of City of Lisburn, Max McCormick of Crusaders, Barry Murphy of Galway City Harriers, Frank O'Brien of Middleton, and right on the outside, in the Where's Wally stripes of Trim AC, Harry Purcell.
Yeah, it looks like the fastest qualifiers are all coming from Heat 1 at the moment. Ted Collins and Fergal O'Hare currently in the hot seats with 155 and 156 respectively. Still not to get an official result on that third heat, but I suspect we should be looking at that that first heat for the fastest qualifiers. Robert Hewson in this one, 153 performer, he's best, and Harry Purcell, the class of this field, if he is in that type of shape, he's around 149 in the past. I would doubt that he's able to do that at the moment, but he is here in that Blood and Blanches Sunderland type kit there on the outside, as Lee Byrne from Rathfarnham takes this one up strongly from the start. 156 or so for that fastest qualifier spot, and they'll be trying to make that as Callum Hurley there gets in second place, but Harry Purcell, taking closer order and getting into second place.
Yeah, he's in the perfect position there, just under 28 once again. So we're seeing a very similar tempo play out here across all the heats. I suppose the difference really is in that third 200. If it's going to be a fast time, someone has to find the courage to take it on in that third 200. Obviously, the fastest man in there, Harry Purcell being him, won't be too keen to push it along and help the others. He'll just be trying to sit and kick. But they come along here. It's Lee Byrne of Rathfarnham with that long stride out front. The most striking singlet in the field. Second only perhaps to Harry Purcell, who is coasting there in second. And moving up on the outside, that is Frank O'Brien of Middleton AC into contention.
Yeah,
His dad was also quite good.
Yes, I was just about to say that, Carl. He got there first. Liam O'Brien, the 1988 Olympic steeplechase participant. Liam O'Brien. Frank O'Brien's pretty good as well. He won the Irish School steeplechase last year, just outside 6 minutes, but he's hoping to run just inside 2 minutes here. He goes up on the outside there, the tall athlete from Middleton, but Harry Purcell emerges from that field. Frank O'Brien in second place, and Callum Hurley from Ferrybank taking closer order as well. Robert Hewson, the 153 athlete there, going by Hurley. So it is Purcell, O'Brien and Hewson here with 200 metres left to run. Hewson getting around him here. Harry Purcell is away and gone home here at this stage. He's already got his bags and he's out the gate. 100 metres to go. He looks absolutely tremendous here as he goes into the home straight. He's got 2, 3, 4 metres on the rest of the field. Hewson and O'Brien going to fight it out for that second spot. Purcell finally looks around and starts to shut down here. Will he dive across the line? I don't think he needs to today. 155, and in second place it's Hewson and O'Brien trying to get that third qualifying spot, but I don't think he'll have got it. Looks like our fast qualifiers are going to come from heats 1 and 2.
Certainly, and we certainly have a rock solid gold medal favourite in Harry Purcell after that. What a turn of speed over that last 150 or so. It was very striking, and he'll be very hard to beat tomorrow. Our fastest time qualifiers look like they're going to come from heat number 1. That is Ted Collins of Nina Olympic with 155.91 and Fergal O'Hare of Crusaders with 156.42. Only 2 time qualifiers this year as we look back towards the women's triple jump.
Yeah, that's Shauna Layden there on the runway at the moment. She had a failure in her first round attempt, but hoping to make the pit and do it cleanly on this one.
Yeah, looks a good jump there from, looks in fact a red flag for Sean Layden. The women's discus competition has concluded. Switch off your screens now if you don't want to hear the results before you see some highlights, but the medalists are going to be brought out on track very shortly as well for their podium presentations, but I will read out the results in 5 seconds here, just so if you want to mute, do it now. Final warning. And our champion was the favourite, Niamh Fogarty, Raheny Shamrock, that 49-46 effort, which she threw in the 4th round, enough to take the title. Silver medal will go to Ciara Shee, 41-94. She threw with her final throw of the day. To take the bronze, or take the silver, in fact, from Casey Mulvey, who threw 41-17 in the first round. So a clutch throw, as they say, from Ciara Shee there to take that silver medal. And yes, Cathal wants to interrupt.
Well, now I feel guilty about interrupting, seems you've drawn attention to it. I just wanted to say that that is the 3rd straight title won by Niamh Fogarty. Excellent stuff from the 21-year-old. Transfer from Northwest Mead to Raheny, so an excellent bit of transfer work there by Raheny, and they have themselves a champ. Well done to Niamh Fogarty.
Yeah, Niamh Fogarty as well has been working in a pet shop for the last couple of months, and she's top dog today, Ger.
She sure is, Ronan, as are you, always. But like we said, the unusual presentation format here, she's presenting herself with the medal, but Niamh Fogarty, Raheny Shamrock, 3 in a row, 3-peat, as they say, all around the world, especially in Ireland. Hat-trick hero, Niamh Fogarty, Raheny Shamrock, the champ.
Absolutely, and if we were in America where 3-peat is a regular occurrence, we'd be throwing hats onto the field now.
Certainly
a hat-trick
would.
hero.
Correct. She, I think, was 7th at the Under-23 Championships in Gavle in Sweden last year as well. It was Niamh Fogarty, so a real athlete of international calibre, and showing her class here again in Morton Stadium at the Irish Life Health National Championship. She is the 2020 champion, retaining her title.
Yeah, great performance there, and we'll just cut back to the triple jump here. You're going to call this one, Ger. I think it's a Finn Valley athlete, but as we know, my guesses are normally horribly wrong.
They are indeed. Yeah, that is Finn Valley's Michaela Byrne, taking her 4th round effort. So the order would just been rejigged with the based off the results, but I went in, had a word, and inquired about the results system there, Ronan, and thankfully Ronan O'Hart is heading over to give the officials a dig out. And as you say, there's a lot of hands needed for a lot of these competitions to take place that you're not aware of. So I think the results were also being manned by the person doing the wind gauge. So one is more important than the other. Certainly the wind gauge needs to be correct for
And I know you were
validation purposes.
keeping an eye on that triple jump, Ger, while we were watching the 800s. Sarah Buggy, obviously 2 fails in the first 2 rounds. So has she survived?
She got a 3rd round effort cleanly in anyway, but we don't have the result of it yet. So hopefully, I see Andrew Lineman's over there with Ronan O'Hart. They're trying to get the things up to speed for us. If not, I'll take a stroll over shortly and see what's happening. But we see Kim O'Hare back on the runway, the Raheny Shamrock athlete, with her 4th round effort.
I was told the other day as well, if there's only 8 athletes in the throws events, and only 8 athletes in the field, even if they failed their first 3 rounds, they still qualify into the final 3 rounds.
Nice.
So if there's only 8 in it, then perhaps.
You're still 8th if you failed 3 times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I could have been 8 in the national final there.
So if there's only 3 in it and you fail all 6 efforts.
Don't know if it works like that, but I know that you get into that final round. I know, yeah, that's a bit of an issue there. Yeah.
Interesting. So I'd imagine things have been rejigged to order of positions, so that would mean that has Sarah Buggy gone further than Grace Furlong, she'll be up next after Furlong. So Furlong on the runway here. Kim O'Hare with that 11:40, still down in 2nd place on our results, but may have been ousted down to 3rd with that clean jump of Sarah Buggy, but we'll wait and see what the results tell us.
Yeah, Kim O'Hare as well, up against really only Grace Furlong there in terms of the under-23s as well. So we have a small bit of a battle there between those two. But Furlong at the moment in the lead, 12:37 as we can guess it from our results here, but may have gone further.
Yeah, we were inquiring last week why the juniors weren't included. So Shauna Layden would be technically under 23 because she's a junior still, as you see Furlong on the runway for her 4th round effort. And she is going to get a white flag if she exits the pit, and she does. David Murphy there on the flags, the Waterford man and coach of Grace Furlong. Not allowed to give any feedback today, unfortunately, for his young athlete. But as I was saying there, sorry,
Could be communicating in some sort of series of winks and
I
nods.
think baseball style nose and ear taps. But
No, you're not allowed to touch your face at the moment. So.
Right. He's been a master of facial movements. But yeah, the juniors, of course, are getting their chance to have their day in the sun now, along with the Masters in a couple of weeks' time here, the 6th of September, I think it is. So that 12:97, Ronan just informing me here. So the results have been updated for Sarah Buggy, so she is in the lead. But yeah, Yeah, we were wondering why the junior athletes, if they're technically under 23, weren't getting a medal for the under 23s as well, but they will have the chance to get their under 23 or their junior title, because most of the events as well have different implements in terms of hurdles, weights as well, so they'll have their own specifications in a couple of weeks' time, and that'll be great to give them a little bit of a carrot at the end of this ropey few months here we've all battled through, and a reward for all those that have kept themselves going. So Sarah Buggy 12.97. The wind down is 0 on that one, so a legal wind. Second place as it stands is Grace Furlong. So Buggy is up next for her 4th round effort here in the women's triple jump. 6 athletes in it. In the bronze at the minute is Kim O'Hare, who Cathal mentioned earlier, has picked up a bronze here last year as well as the indoors this year in Abbottstown. Oh, and just a buckle on the 3rd phase there from Buggy. Hopefully no damage to the hip or knee. She looks to be fresh enough after a little hop. Just collapsed on that final phase run.
Yeah, and it's an event that has a very high attrition rate, the triple jump. An awful lot of force going through those legs and joints as they hit the runway. Certainly an event that you'd want to make sure your back was in good order before you started doing it. And Sarah Buggy is an experienced performer. To see Sean Layden, the junior you were mentioning earlier there from Mullingar Harriers, on the runway.
Andrew Lynham is back from his exploits over to the triple jump, and we're giving him the thanks here for updating us with these live results for the triple. But yeah, I think if there's any, if you're suffering any issue, the triple jump is not for you. And if you don't have any issues, the triple jump will give you some issues.
Certainly, and a very hard event as well to get the full series of jumps in, as we're starting to see here. Most of the athletes, with the exception of Grace Furlong, struggling to get a full series of jumps in. Sean Layden here, though, has jumped 10.18, it appears, by the results in both rounds, which is outrageously specific jumping, if it is true.
And here
that
she
looks
goes
about
again.
a 10.18.
I think it's definitely close. It's what she's good at. She gets the white flag this time around, so she had a foul on her 4th round, but this is her 5th round effort, so she's starting the proceedings. Up next will be Grace Fitzgerald of Tiptown AC. We don't have her 2nd and 3rd round, or in fact her 4th round efforts, but judging off the order of events here, she has moved ahead of Sean Layden into 5th place as they work in descending order, or ascending from bottom to top, as it would be.
Whenever I'm trying to buy stuff online, I can't figure it out with that one.
Price by
ascending? Yeah, very confusing. But that is Grace Fitzgerald, Tipperary Town here, leaning forward as she powers down the runway, and looks like it's a clean jump.
Yeah, she looked well behind the board on that one, so it should be a white flag as she exits the pit. She does get the white flag.
Yeah, an event that you'd expect Sarah Buggy to run away with here, but plenty of action for those, particularly the bronze medal. A lot of athletes in around that kind of 11-meter distance. So we should see some really fine jumping here for the minor medals.
Yeah, that 12.97 is going to take a lot of beating from Sarah Buggy. Up next, we're going to have the Finn Valley's Michaela Byrne. 10.62 in the 1st round. We don't have our next best effort, but Sean Layden has pushed out to 10.42 there in that 5th round effort, so moves herself possibly up to 5th place, and certainly an almost half a meter improvement on her previous jumps. But here is Finn Valley's Michaela Byrne. Gets the red flag on that one, unfortunately.
Yeah, she'll be trying to hold off Sean Layden there for that 4th place. There's only 20 centimetres of a difference now between them. And then another jump up to Kim O'Hare, who's in 3rd at the moment at 11.40. So 2 good jumps from Kim O'Hare, and hopefully when this updates we'll get an idea of exactly how the standings are lying. 5th round jumps as we see them.
Yeah, so Grace Fitzgerald is just holding off that 5th place at the minute with 10.71 in fact in her 4th round effort. Her results have just been updated here. Michaela Byrne has gone out to 11.03 in fact in round 2. So she's at 2 fouls, 10.62, 11.03, and then 10.86 in the 4th round. And that foul, as we just saw. So Kim O'Hare goes up next, the bronze medalist as it stands. She's got 40 centimetres or 37 centimetres to spare over Michaela Byrne in that bronze medal position. And then another 30 centimetres back to Grace Fitzgerald in 5th.
Yeah, you'd expect to see O'Hare put out a jump here, a big jump, try and consolidate that 3rd place. But it's a red flag.
Gets the red flag again, so it's nervy for Kim O'Hare now. She has that bronze medal secured by the 37 centimetre margin, but only 1 round to go, so she could get a shock with 3 challengers looking to snatch that medal from her back pocket. Grace Furlong up next, trying to get close to that gold medal performance so far from Sarah Buggy. 12.97, her best. Just 1 effort measured for Buggy today. 2 efforts to go.
Yeah, and 1 might be enough here. We'll see how Grace Furlong responds to that 12.97 from Sarah Buggy. So the wind is playing a little bit of havoc here at times, depending on the gusts, but certainly by the latter rounds we should have got to grips with it. But Grace Furlong here on the runway, hoping to pull out the jump of a life here to win a national title over Sarah Buggy.
Yeah, serious issues with the long jumps here last weekend with the wind gusting up to, I know in the women's 100 metres was up plus 4.8. I think there was only 2 legal jumps across the whole series from the women's long jump certainly last week, so very hard to get a consistent mark down and get your run up sorted in that. But here goes Furlong in her 5th round effort, trying to challenge Buggy for that gold medal. She will be the under 23 champion if she can hold her form here, but she's getting measured, a white flag on that one. The Waterford AC athlete. And I mentioned last week as well, Ronan, although it didn't affect her last week, she took the title. But Sarah Buggy, I know she always had issues with her run-up in terms of whatever run-up she used in training. She'd always have to move a couple of steps back once it came to the competition. Obviously, a bit of adrenaline and nerves and everything else kicks in, and you're freshened up and you've tapered down, so the legs are moving a little bit more freely. So maybe that's an issue again today, as we see she would have been focusing on this weekend, possibly more so than last weekend. But she's had 3 fouls out of her 4 so far. But up next, 5th round effort, see what she can pull out.
Yeah, you'd be expecting to see her if she gets one right to sail away from the challenge of Grace Furlong. We'll just get an idea of where Grace Furlong was in that final, in that 5th round. But
12.06 that was for Furlong, so no improvement. Plus 3 metres per second win on that one. She went out to 12.37 in the first one, which would have been a PB, but for the wind.
So Buggy pretty much unchallenged here then in that 5th round from Grace Furlong. Still plenty of distance between them, but Buggy hoping to make sure of it, so she goes into that final round with the medal in the back pocket. And if we were looking at the new Diamond League standards, she'd have to wait and try and jump in that final round anyway, which is madness.
That looks like I won't call it a white flag. I think we're going to get here.
Oh,
we do indeed. David Murphy waves that white flag, and it will be measured for Sarah Buggy. So her 2nd measure of the day. Yeah, the Diamond League format is a bit haywire. In fairness, I don't think any of the athletes are happy with it. So basically, you take all your jumps, and the top 3 from round 5 go into, or at the standings of round 5, go into one final jump, and whoever jumps the furthest in that one gets the money, which is nonsense.
Very disturbing. And
it was, however, only an experimental one-off. They're not making every Diamond League like that.
Yeah, IAAF's Carl Denny here stepping in.
And by the way, the IAAF is now World Athletics, and World Athletics also don't run the Diamond League. It's a completely different business. They won the Diamond League.
Wanda's Cathal Denny stepping in here to clear things up for us. Thankfully, impartial views from the man, as you'll see across all papers and platforms, bowing to whoever asks and begs them and gives them the money.
12.65 from Sarah Buggy in that final, or that 5th round there, so no improvement from Buggy there, still hanging on with that 12.97 back to that 12.37 from Grace Furlong.
Carl, just in the meantime, what is Wanda?
It's a Chinese manufacturer that makes magic wands. I made that up. I don't know.
Excellent insight there from Wanda's Cathal Dennehy.
All I know is they've got $100 million to give to athletics, so we're not going to ask any questions.
Great innovation from Wanda in that Diamond League event, Ronan, last week. We've seen the long jump where the final
I love Wanda.
is. Yeah.
Wanda is my favourite Chinese manufacturing company.
Shauna Layden taking her final round effort. She's going to get the measure once she leaves the pit, gets the white flag, and she's trying to improve on that 10.42. She's sitting in 6th at the minute. She's going to need, 10.71 to move up a spot into 5th and get ahead of Grace Fitzgerald. That is the end of her competition here. 6th place at the worst for Shauna Layden, the Mullingar Harriers athlete. She'll be back for the junior competition, hopefully in a couple of weeks' time here again. She can make a challenge for the gold in that one.
Wanda is a private property developer based in Beijing. There you go. Anyway, they're giving athletics $100 million over the next 10 years, so fair play to you, Wanda.
That's good enough for me.
What have they done for me, though?
Grace Fitzgerald, though, not concerned about the Chinese property company. She's concerned about the triple jump here, the Tipperary Town athlete. 10:46 in her last jump, but 10:71 is her best so far.
5 measured jumps so far as well, and she's going to get 6th here, so... Or in fact, yeah, she's getting that measured. So 6 clean efforts for the Tip Town athlete. Let's see, is there any improvement on her 10:71 from round 4? Sitting in 5th place at the minute. So as we said, the order rejigged after 3 rounds so that the person in the lead takes the final jump. So when it comes to the 5th and 6th round efforts in particular, they become a bit more nervy, and the athlete in the lead will know that they've won before their final jump, provided they hold their spot. They can take a victory lap.
Yeah, and you'd expect to see Buggy really trying to push the boat out in this one in her final jump, if she is still secure. As I said, an athlete's only got 2 jumps in today, but 2 solid jumps, 2 winning jumps from Sarah Buggy.
Yeah, and we've got Michaela Byrne here. 11:03 her best in the 2nd round, the Finn Valley athlete. She is going to get a white flag here as well, so another measured jump for her. 11:03 in that 2nd round, 10:86 in the 4th, also good enough to hold that 4th place spot, but she's going to need 11:40 to oust Kim O'Hare from the bronze medal. We don't have O'Hare's 4th and 5th round efforts here, but if there was any improvement, certainly it's only a bigger challenge for Michaela Byrne.
Yeah, you'd expect to see the standings pretty much stay as they are, as Kim O'Hare here is on the runway. An athlete who's in 2nd place as an under 23 and 3rd place overall at the moment. Said Buggy, and then Grace Furlong, the only athletes over that 12-meter kind of standard that we were expecting here from those 2 athletes. O'Hare, though, the Raheny Shamrock athlete, very tall athlete, and that 3-point start now striding down the runway.
Just a run through that one. Yes, she was way off the board on that one, so obviously making a push for that silver medal position, running on that last effort, but no good for Kim O'Hare, so she'll be safe and comfortable with that bronze medal in her back pocket. She got one indoors and she got one outdoors here last year, coached by Kay Bannon here in Raheny Shamrock, and she'll be interested to see how Mark Smith gets on in the 200 metres tomorrow as well. But lots of her training partners training here or competing here over last weekend across the sprints, and one of her compatriots in the long jump last week too.
Yeah, certainly a high quality training group there over a range of events, and Kim O'Hare hoping to bring back 2 medals there, 123 silver and that senior bronze. Grace Furlong here, the athlete currently in 2nd place overall, 1st place in the 123 category on the runway.
Yeah, just 2 123s here for this one. Furlong, the winner outright already in that one. Kim O'Hare going to take that silver medal, but can Grace Furlong do anything here to upset Sarah Buggy? Looks like a clean effort. Gets a clap from parents standing in the stands, gets the white flag.
And just a note for anyone looking to follow the discus, we do have the video highlights of that, and they're being teed up. We'll wait for this women's triple jump to conclude, and then we'll show you the top throws from that women's discus.
Happy days. Yeah, we saw the medal presentation, we read out the results already, so if you're trying to avoid the spoilers, we'll say no more until we see those highlight throws, but it's great that we've managed to get a camera out. The lads in Entry doing Trojan work here across last weekend and this weekend out to the throws arena and capture some of those winning throws.
It's unfortunate it wasn't on the infield, but this is also used as a football pitch, and I believe that was the explanation given, that they can't have discuses and hammers going into that pitch and digging it up. So sad for the throwers, but maybe in future years a deal can be struck because they deserve to be in this arena.
Yeah, as I said, the throws arena was upgraded here recently as well, so it is a fantastic area out there for throwing, especially for training they can throw out there all they want, because Dunboyne was the local throw area for the recent years when that was waiting to be upgraded. So at least for training purposes they have a fantastic facility there for getting their throws in, but it's a pity we can't see them in stadium. I remember sitting here maybe back in 2004 or 5 and watching Eileen O'Keefe at 10:30 in the morning on a Sunday at the National Championships and seeing her thrown out to something like 73 metres, and went on to be a world finalist that year. It was just, it's really, in the truest sense of the word, awesome to watch, to see how far they can throw that hammer. But unfortunately, we'll make do with the highlights for today and see what we see next year. But here comes our de facto champion, Sarah Buggy, down the runway, and she runs through again on that one. But she'll be taking home her 14th national title, I believe, Cathal, or did you include her long jump from last week? So 13th overall. And the St Albans woman laden down with gold, but another title here today. She probably won't be too happy with her performance. 12.97 windy, and just 2 clean jumps, 12.65 in the 5th round. But she is the champion. A brilliant performance last weekend, does enough today. So 2 golds, double gold medalist for St Albans in the horizontal jumps.
Yeah, it was 11.93 in that last and final round from Grace Furlong as well. So Buggy going into that last jump knowing that she had the win in the bag. The final results, so in that one, Buggy in first with 12.97, Grace Furlong in second with 12.37, and it is Kim O'Hare from Raheny Shamrock AC, the under 23 athlete, in third place with 11.40.
Yeah, Michaela Byrne there, Finn Valley in fourth, 5th for Grace Fitzgerald of Tiptown, and Sean Layden, Mullingar Harrier, in 6th place. So we might just get a look at the throws from earlier on now, that women's discus final, and then we might just stay tuned in time to catch the women's triple jump presentation. So we'll see the top 3 throws coming up.
Yeah, so this is third placer. That's Casey Mulvey of Innievale. Her best throw, and it came in the 3rd round. That was 41 metres and 17 centimetres. See, it catches the wind.
What sort of a wind are we looking for in the discus?
I asked Niamh Fogarty that very question due to the last week's debacle and my ill-advised advice. I'll talk about it in a moment, but for the moment we'll focus back on the action, because this is Ciara Sheehy of Emerald AC. 41.94 was her best effort, and she saved the best for last, did the Emerald AC thrower. She's 17 years old only, personal best of 49.37. Or sorry, she's a personal best of 41.04, so that was a personal best for Ciara Sheehy to win a national silver medal. And here's our champ, 3 in a row for Niamh Fogarty. She's a college down in AIT, and this throw was 49 metres and 46 centimetres. It's shy of her best. She wasn't happy with the winning distance, but she was of course happy with the win. And you can catch a full chat with her on the Athletics Ireland social media channels. It's already gone up, so the spoilers were already out there across all platforms.
Wonderful.
Before we displayed that.
Yeah, fantastic speed
and
there.
She's 2 years left doing athletic therapy down at Lone IT, enjoying life, and that's her season done. She's gonna take a couple of weeks off, and then she's gonna go all guns blazing, she said, for winter training, with a big year ahead next year. So very well done to Niamh Fogarty, and indeed our minor medalists, Ciara Sheehy and Casey Mulvey. Excellent stuff.
Fantastic speed there from Niamh Fogarty across the sector. To see it in person is truly a magical thing, to see how quick the throwers can move with all that power and speed. But as you said, the youth of the women's discus is certainly good signs for things to come, especially with our champion there, 21 years of age, and teenagers in the medalists. It's like we seen in the women's hammer last weekend with the 16-year-old taking the title. There's big things to come from these young women.
Certainly. 17 years old, our silver and bronze medalist there. Niamh Fogarty is only 21, and she already has 3 national titles in the bag. So congrats to Niamh Fogarty. I was talking to her about the wind, because she said actually the wind out there in the throwing area was much better for throwing. So she said today, given there was no one in here, she's actually happier to be out there for the throwing conditions. And I said, what sort of wind do you want? And she said, kind of from the side, she said. Didn't ask what side, didn't ask the degrees, so anyone was privy to the debate last weekend about the 15 degrees off-centre wind. If you know, please let us know in the comment section. What is the ideal Any engineers among you?
So I'd imagine if it's a right-handed thrower, it'll be a crosswind from the left to right, which is what they've got at the minute, because the throw sector runs perpendicular to the track here. So if you were running across the first bend here, that's the direction that the throwing area goes. It's technically along the first bend, so that's where the wind is going, with a home straight wind here to be coming in from left to right as they throw. So right-hander, the discus will be tilted right low, left high, and that'll catch it underneath. Carl?
If anyone would request some coaching lessons, we're happy to coach the discus. What it appears to happen is you spin around and then you release it. And I think you want
with gusto.
With great gusto. 45-ish degrees perhaps. Too high, not too low. Goldilocks style throws. Anyway, where coaching is available. Gerard O'Donnell is a multiple times national champion. It may not be in the discus, but we'll certainly try our best.
Not in the discus, no. Barely even held a discus. But if we can get the women's triple jumpers over for our podium presentation, we might just hang on until then. But if not, we'll be over for 2 o'clock for stream number 2 or session number 2. Is it 2 o'clock?
I think it's a little later, is it?
2:30.
Is it 2?
It's quite a short day today anyway overall.
It's 2:30, yes. We'll have from 2:30 we'll have the women's 5,000 metre race walk featuring Kate Veal. 3:10 it's going to be the men's 10,000 metre race walk on the track featuring David Kenny, Brendan Boyce, and a world under 20 champion in Callum Wilkinson. That'll really be one to look forward to. And then at 4:10, what I consider the race of this weekend's action, but I'm extremely biased towards the distance events.
110 hurdles, no?
The
That's
men's 10,000 metres, 25 hard laps on the track. And 2 of the silver men from last weekend will be looking to upgrade to gold, Sean Tobin and
John Travers.
John Travers, yes, thank you for that. And
he's new, you probably haven't heard of him before.
No, he only has 9 national titles, 12. We have it written down there somewhere. Also, Hugh Armstrong is featuring there, 2:12 marathoner. Mick Clohessy, Rio Olympian, 2:13 marathoner. And Owen Everard is stepping up, sub 4 minute miler. He'll be trying to bring his speed, but can he hang with them? It'll be a fascinating race playing out at 4:10 p.m. this afternoon, so make sure not to miss that. Also in the field events this afternoon, we've got the men's discus coming up. That should be a right dust up. Colin Quirk is back over from the west coast of America, 5,000 or so miles from California to Dublin, and he's made the trip. He is quarantined and he is eligible and ready to defend his title in the men's discus. And then the men's triple jump, that'll be the last field event. So the men's discus is 2:35. That gets going again. We'll be bringing you highlights from that and updating you. And then the men's triple jump will be in here, and we'll be cutting over to that across the distance events at 2:45 p.m.
Yeah, Carl, of course, the big entrance in the 10,000 metres here for both men's and women's. I suppose a lot of the road races being cancelled and postponed this summer, but I'd imagine a lot of those entrants may not show up as well since the shoe regulations have come into effect. So there's going to be no vapor flies or alpha flies used on the track here due to their regulations.
Absolutely. It's like when they brought that EPO test in before the Sydney Olympics, and a lot of athletes mysteriously disappeared or underperformed. Unrelated circumstances. But yes, the rules have changed, the game has changed, and you can't wear more than 25 mils on the track anymore. Speaking to some athletes who have the new Dragonfly spikes, I don't mean to sound like a Nike shill, which I am.
The Wanda Nike Dragonflies.
The Wanda Nike Dragonflies. But a lot of the athletes I've spoken to say they don't really feel as much of a performance benefit as a health benefit, in terms of they can get on the track, they can rip reps, and their calves are fine the next day, their feet are fine, whereas before their lower limbs would have been an absolute ribbons.
Much like EPO, there's no real performance benefit, but the recovery benefit is huge, so it doesn't really help at all.
Yes. Well, I think you're misconstruing what was said there, Ger.
Yes. Possibly oversimplifying. But yeah, I suppose it's like rocking out in a pair of cross-country spikes on the track, but also getting the stiffness of that. What's it called? The foam that's injected into
Pebax.
The Pebax foam allows for still without a carbon fiber plate. The Pebax foam acts as the stiffness to give them that bit of a hop
they
off the
also
track.
have a plate.
Excellent.
The Dragonfly is made out of hard Pebax that they inject into the spike, and then there's also the softer Pebax responsive foam.
You haven't tuned out by now. This is certainly your chance.
There's an awful lot of injecting going on there, Carl, since you were trying to distance it from the EPO. I think the Ger was bringing up.
Yes, indeed. Very dubious, but we have our triple jumpers are making their way over, so I think we'll be hang on for their presentation. They certainly deserve it.
Well, indeed, David Murphy is just bringing them around the bend here over towards the podium.
And it's a pity because they'll have been relatively freezing over there for the last hour in the winds and cool conditions here in Santry, and they've got all their gear on, walking back over, and they're now going to be told, right, all the gear comes off, we want you up there in your club colours.
Stand
make
behind
the
your
pictures
box.
look great.
Yeah.
And they'll be thankful when they have that photo to look back on in years to come, but in a few minutes' time they'll be like, oh.
We're due for a bit of better weather this weekend anyway. In general, across the weekend, I think there's no rain forecast, and the winds are certainly going to be tailwinds today, even though we have no sprint events. But
Tell
tomorrow,
you what, there was some, sorry Ger, I interrupted.
Carry on.
There was some bang of winter off that day yesterday.
There certainly was. It was a real November misery, certainly in the locale here at Morton Stadium. But the no sprints on today, as I said, but tomorrow morning should still be tailwinds, and it starts to turn. I tend to turn into a weatherman every time I get this mic, but the wind is starting to turn throughout the day, and by 6 o'clock tomorrow evening it'll be headwinds, but the competition will be wrapped up by then, so hopefully for midday 2-3 o'clock when the hurdles and the 200s are on, it's supposed to be a crosswind, but that might just give a crosswind in the direction that the 200 metre athletes will have it on their back for the first bend at least. So
perhaps a 15-degree off-centre crosswind. Ger.
yes, from left to right under the high point of the spike.
Yeah, we've got a feast of action coming up tomorrow. We'll have 6 finals in the field and 8 on the track. So lots to look forward to then. It's going to get underway tomorrow at 11:30 our stream. Shot put will be on just before then, but we'll bring you all the main action from that as well, and run until about 4 p.m. tomorrow. So 11:30 till 4. That's just for people who may be signing off and have something ridiculous to do with their afternoon, because I can't understand how anyone wouldn't want to be back here at 2:30 for the afternoon session.
Yeah, the shot putters and the weight for height and weight for distance throwers are the only ones allowed in the stadium for their competitions, so they're the blessed few. We've seen the weight for height competitions last weekend. The weight for distance will be taking place tomorrow with the under 23s incorporated along with the seniors in that one, but throwing a different weight. But we're down to the podium here for our 3 medalists in the women's triple jump. We've got Kim O'Hare, Sarah Buggy and Grace Furlong from right to left on your screen there, with Georgina Drum just delivering the parcels there for them.
Yeah, Georgina Drum reprising her role here as the giver of presents,
the bearer of gifts.
3 wise men and 1 wise Georgina Drum dropping off not frankincense, not myrrh, but the bronze medal there, silver medal and gold medal.
Indeed. So she's just given the announcement here to the stadium. Rohini Shamrock's Kim O'Hare presents herself with the bronze medal. Bronze medalist here last year, bronze medal indoors, and another one again. She makes a mess of it first time around, has to turn the medal around.
Certainly, she actually took it off and then put it back on again to present herself. And Grace Furlong here, the silver medalist, presents herself. She says, well done, Grace, great performance, and puts her medal on. And finally, Sarah Buggy, national triple and long jump champion, and now over these 2 weekends with the gold medal there. We reckon 13 national titles, so lucky for some, but another great day for Sarah Buggy here.
Yeah, only 1 champion, but on the second podium, Grace Furlong is the under 23 champion as well, and Kim O'Hare will take the silver for that competition, but silver and bronze in the senior, with Sarah Buggy taking the title. So we're going to wrap up our coverage for now. We'll be back at 2:30 with the lads from Entry doing their fantastic job as always. They'll be here before us, no doubt. They'll have the stream ready to go, and we will catch up with you then.